Today we're putting all of this in the Silverado. So the General Motors air intake system with the cold air induction system. The reason I'm doing this is because the General Motors version isn't really that efficient. As you can see, there's this section here that's ribbed, and when air is flowing through there, those air molecules can get caught in those channels, decreasing the efficiency of the airflow. And then it also takes a really sharp turn through this box, which this massive box does absolutely nothing anyway, so I don't know why it's here. But it takes a really sharp turn into the motor, which also decreases the efficiency. I decided to go with the cold air inductions kit because I saw a lot of good talk about it. I compared it to a couple of others. One other company that I looked at was Corsa. And just after reading reviews and seeing some other YouTube videos and people talking about it, I decided to give the cold air inductions kit the try, even though it's a little more expensive. I think it looks a little bit cleaner from what I've seen so far, and I'm excited to see what it's going to look like. Now, the reason I'm doing this change is to increase efficiency for the engine. And that's going to have three main impacts on the truck. It's going to help increase horsepower, help increase torque, and help increase fuel efficiency. The variations on those increases vary from person to person, how you drive, and the vehicle itself. Cold air inductions claims an average of about 10 to 12 horsepower, 10 to 12 pound-feet of torque increase, and I've seen people say that they've got 1 to 1.5 miles per gallon increase on fuel efficiency. So all those numbers sound really good to me. This truck isn't a racer. I'm not looking to give it a ton of horsepower or torque. I just want to increase the efficiency, clean up the look of this engine bay, get this big plastic monster box looking thing out of here. And any type of increases that I get in performance and efficiency, thumbs up to that from me. All right, so we're gonna start taking this apart. We gotta unhook the negative battery cable, and then we're gonna start taking these little clamps off. There's one here, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's one around back, right back there, where it clamps on to where it goes in the engine. Then we're gonna take off the top of this box. We're leaving the bottom in. We reuse the bottom of the OEM box. Take the top off. We're going to take the sensor off and switch it over to the cold air inductions system. And then we'll be ready to install the new kit. So let's get started. Two things before I get started. One, please ignore how dirty my engine compartment is. I obviously don't clean this ever. I guess really three things, because I just thought of another one. Two, I'm only 5'7", so yes, I am using a step stool so that I can get in and reach everything that I need to for this. Three, I apologize if the camera angle isn't the best. Again, I do this all myself. I don't have any help. I don't have any fancy camera equipment or GoPros that I can hang from the hood while it's lifted up or anything like that. I just have to set the phone up and record and hope for the best at this point. I loosened the clamps on both sides of the hose. Also removed a bracket bolt down here that holds the box down. So now we're going to try and remove the outlet duct from the Silverado. Now I'm going to disconnect the wiring harness from the MAF sensor. It's a red clip you pull back. There are 3 bolts that hold the top of the filter cover into the Silverado. So I'm going to take those out, and then we're going to remove this cover and the filter. Those bolts are a little longer than I expected them to be, so I'm going to speed up the process a little bit. Every second counts, right? My filter is actually pretty clean. I've had this truck for a year. I haven't cleaned it or changed it. Not too bad. Now we've got to remove this MAF sensor and install it on the new intake housing. We got to be really careful because these are really sensitive, so you don't want to damage this. You want to take it off and immediately install it in the new component so they don't have it sitting around anywhere. So I just realized the camera wasn't recording, so let me get you up to speed. We've got the new inlet hose put in right here and the PCV hose connected there. Now we're working on putting the new filter in the filter box so we can get that installed to the filter housing. Alright, so we got the new housing top with the filter installed and the MAF tube clamped in. Next step is to install this in the vehicle and get everything connected. So we got everything sitting in here. Nothing's really tightened down yet. This is what we've got so far. I went ahead and reconnected the MAF sensor. This is a little bit farther left on the MAF tube than the original factory one. So I actually had to loosen some of the electrical tape that was holding this wire set to that wire set so I could get it to reach far enough to clip in over here. You can see it's clipped in, nice and solid. Red clips pushed forward, so that's not going anywhere now. Now I'm going to put the bolts back, one up here, two around to the side and back. And then we'll tighten the clamps down, and we should be done installing this new system. I'm gonna get all these screws started first and then go back and tighten them up. After tightening these up, I realized that this point right here wasn't fully seated. So just gonna make sure that's pushed all the way in. And then retighten everything. Or retighten this one. That officially finishes the installation of the new air intake for the Silverado. For this particular product, on a scale of 1 to 10 for difficulty installing, I'd probably give it a 1, maybe a 2 at most. It was really simple. The hardest part for me was just making sure that the parts that I took off were the right ones. The pictures on the instructions aren't extremely clear, but if you pay enough attention to what you're doing and look at the instructions, it's easy to make sure you're not making any mistakes. The installation itself of the new kit was extremely easy. I think it was actually easier than uninstalling the OEM system. So thumbs up to Cold Air Inductions. Great job, y'all. But what I'm going to do now is give y'all a quick little before and after so you can see what the engine bay looks like with the OEM compared to this aftermarket kit. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. In a later video upload, I'm going to do an update to let y'all know if I see any calculated changes in my fuel economy, whether good or bad, and let y'all know if I like this, how I feel about it, if I've noticed any kind of differences driving the truck, anything like that. But I'm going to need some time to really test it out and see how it feels and see if I notice any changes like that. So check for that upload coming up. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below if you have installed one of these on your Silverado, if you went with the same brand that I did, if you chose a different brand and why you chose it. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We'll see y'all in the next one.